Hey there, I'm Jackie Ferris. This week on the 302, we are at the Brandywine Zoo checking out what's new. And let me tell you, this week's show is all about cuteness overload. From baby lemurs to giant anteaters and a red panda. Get ready to want to cuddle. 302 is headed your way. Hey everybody, welcome to the Brandywine Zoo, where you're about to get a huge dose of cuteness. I'm joined now by Allison Coleman. She's going to tell us a little bit about the red pandas. Allison, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about the red pandas. Are they close to the giant pandas that we're so used to seeing?
Actually, no. They were discovered about 50 years before the giant pandas were discovered.
Oh, okay.
So they are considered the original panda. And panda translates to bamboo eater, so they do share a lot of similar adaptations that the giant pandas have as well.
Now we're seeing them get some trees, so introduce us to who we're going to be learning about today.
All right, so we have, in the front is Sherman, and he is 12 years old. He's been here for a while. And our newer red panda, Scarlet, arrived earlier this year, and she is 4 years old.
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit about what they're eating. I know that they eat primarily bamboo, but they don't digest bamboo all the way, right?
Right. So 98% of their diet does consist of bamboo, and you're correct. They digest about 28% of that, 24 to 28. They will supplement their diet with insects, eggs, sometimes fallen fruits. We do give them some biscuits here, a zoo prepared diet that's biscuits, fruit, as well as a large quantity of bamboo.
So let's talk about the color. I mean, the color is so gorgeous and red, and I know that's for camouflage, but if you can also tell me about they glow in the dark, their face?
Right. So yeah, the red on their back is very vibrant to us, but in the eastern Himalayan broadleaf forests, it actually does blend in really well with the red moss and lichen that's present in the forest. Their black underbelly also helps to camouflage in the shadows of the forest, and they're very arboreal, so they spend a lot of time in the trees. Their faces have that white that you mentioned, and that helps for the babies to keep track of their moms, and it kind of shines at night when or at dawn and dusk when they're most active.
In case they get lost, they can always find Mama because she glows in the dark. That's really cool. So we're talking about a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, you said? 12. Wow. So what is the lifespan?
8 to 12 in the wild. It can be longer, maybe 15 to 18 in expert care.
So let's talk about that expert care. What does it take to, keep these guys healthy and happy?
Well, they have an excellent diet plan here that's provided by a nutritionist that manages all our diets. They have expert veterinary care available to them 24/7, and a really great training plan that helps them participate in voluntary vet behaviors. So we're able to track things like weights, we can transport them if needed to our animal care center, and other general behaviors that help them participate in their husbandry.
Well, they look pretty happy, and when you look at them, they kind of remind me of raccoons.
Yes, so they are not directly related to raccoons, but they do look a lot like raccoons. They have, they share a same ancestor, so they are considered carnivores because they share that ancestor with weasels, raccoons, and skunks. But obviously they do eat a lot of bamboo, so they're not carnivores in the sense of dietary.
So if they were in the wild, they'd eat insects as well, right?
They might, eat insects and eggs and small mammals if they come across them. But the majority of their diet consists of that bamboo that's present in the understory of their habitat.
And they're endangered, so it's really important that we do this kind of preservation, right?
Yes, absolutely. Last year we partnered with the Red Panda Network to promote red panda conservation. I believe the Red Panda Day, International Red Panda Day, is in September.
Okay.
And it's a great opportunity to highlight these animals and showcase them so that they can represent their counterparts in the wild.
So when we come to visit, I'm sure you get a lot of questions, but when is a good time? Because don't they sleep a lot?
Yes, they do sleep a lot. They are most active naturally in dawn and dusk. They're crepuscular, but anytime that they have food, they're active, and when it's colder, they're actually one of the more active animals here at Brandywine Zoo.
Which works out because in the wintertime, just throw on a coat, come on out, and you can see the red pandas. What are some of the questions that you get? I know that you give talks on the red panda when visitors come. What are some of the questions that you get? Anything that surprises you?
Usually we get questions about their names and their ages. They get along really well with each other, so we don't. Sometimes people will ask if we've ever seen them demonstrate that behavior that you'll see when they're startled, where they rear up and hold up their hands, and it's probably the most cutest self-defense behavior you've ever seen. I haven't really seen that with them, but that's a good thing because they get along and they're with each other and they're comfortable here.
Now, they're not a breeding pair, though.
Correct. They are part of AZA's species survival plan, so they are not recommended for breeding at this time. The species survival plan manages genetic population in AZA zoos. So they pair them up with a good match, and let us know when they think it's time for an individual to breed.
Well, they certainly are beautiful animals that just, give you the, they have that awe factor for sure. Absolutely. So before we go, if somebody wants to learn more about these red pandas, what do they do?
They can come to the zoo. We have keeper talks at 11:30 or 1:30. We also have on the weekends, we have close encounters that you can actually pay for it and sign up for in advance with the red pandas. They only have one on Saturdays and one on Sundays.
What's a close encounter?
So if you go to our website, you'll see it's where you can come. You sign up and pay for it in advance, and you can actually participate in a feeding session.
How come we didn't get to do that? We're gonna have to come back. So we're gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we're going to check out a giant anteater. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Nick Sarator, Exhibitions Director for the Rehoboth Art League, and I always enjoy 302.
Welcome back to the Brandywine Zoo. We are now checking out a giant anteater named Lance. I'm joined by Allison Coleman to tell us more about this really beautiful animal. We've got some treats. Hopefully he'll come and visit us during the interview, but tell us about Lance.
So Lance just celebrated his 2nd birthday. He is a giant anteater. Giant anteaters are one of 4 different species of anteaters, and they are the largest. He weighs almost 100 pounds.
So he has, is it a snout? It's a very long...
Yes, he's got a very long and narrow face and a very tiny little mouth at the end of his face where his nose is. He has a very has an excellent sense of smell. His sense of smell is actually 40 times stronger than a human's, and pretty poor eyesight and poor hearing, so that sense of smell makes up for the difference.
So the reason he has such a long snout is so that he can dig into ant mounds?
Yes, so he sticks that nose into the dirt or into rotted logs, and when he's foraging for his food, which is primarily either ants or termites. They're really good at tearing open, they have really sharp claws, so they're really good at tearing open termite mounds and rotted logs in order to get to that that food that he's looking for.
Now, he's larger than I anticipated. I mean, this is the size of like a big dog, like a golden retriever, you know, and then there's that tail. Talk to me, are all anteaters this big, or?
Just the giant anteaters are this big. His tail is really, really bushy, and his tail is about the same length as his body. So they can be 6 to 8 feet long. Males are generally a little bit larger than the females, and he is a male, so he's on the bigger end of that weight range. And he doesn't have any teeth. And that long nose also accommodates a 2-foot-long tongue.
A 2-foot-long tongue. That's amazing, because it's got to be able to get in there and then retrieve it.
Yes, and the base of the tongue is actually attached to his sternum.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. So what's the situation with the tail? Why does it need such a long tail? Is that for defense or something, or?
He'll use his tail for a couple different reasons. He'll use it to kind of cover himself when he's resting, almost like a blanket. And he'll also use it to balance himself. One of their methods of self-defense can be to rear up and use those claws to defend themselves. And when they're rearing up on their hind legs, that big tail will help balance them.
Mm-hmm. And I notice he kind of has like some fringe happening there. Is that to help him cool himself or cover himself? Or?
Yeah, he has very coarse hairs, so he likes to go into the pool. They're excellent swimmers, so it kind of helps to trap the dirt and keep him waterproofed.
I never would have thought that he was that they would be good swimmers. You don't think of them. Little known facts about the anteater. So, is there anything else that would surprise us beyond the, you know, he's a gold medalist at the games?
That's right. That's right. He's also, along with that 2-foot-long tongue, they have an extremely sticky saliva, and that helps to stick those ants and termites onto his tongue so he can ingest them.
Can't get away.
Yeah, and they'll eat about 30,000 ants or termites in a day.
So how do you keep Lance fed? That's a lot of ants and termites in a day.
Right, so here we give him a zoo-based diet called insectivore. So it's a pellet that is suitable for animals that eat an insect-based diet. He'll also eat hard-boiled eggs and avocado here.
That's amazing. He really is beautiful. So talk to me a little bit about the coloring. I mean, is this to help him camouflage?
The coloring can help him camouflage a little bit. It also, when the babies are born, they're basically like little clones of the parents. They look exactly the same, just much, much smaller. And he's actually interacting with his enrichment now. So you can see that tongue going into the clear bottle, and you can see that sticky residue that he's leaving behind.
Can you guys see this? I hope you can. It's really amazing. So it goes, he's putting his tongue through the small opening of the bottle and using that stickiness to get whatever, is that some kind of like a pellet, a meal of some kind?
That's the insectivore, and we've got some avocado and hard-boiled egg in there as well.
So is he endangered or large?
They're classified as vulnerable. Mm-hmm. The biggest threats to their conservation would be habitat loss. They have a really strong ecological impact on local insect communities, so they are really important animal to conserve, but the biggest threat to their conservation is habitat loss.
So somebody wants to know more about Lance. I know we talked about the red pandas. They can come here, you give talks, but there's also your website as a good resource?
Yes, we have information, educational information on anteaters on our website, and we also do keeper talks here as well.
So when are the keeper talks typically? When do those happen?
Those are at 11:30 or 1:30, and every day.
Every single day. So you could come, and is it the same animals every day, or do you rotate?
We rotate them, so everybody gets a chance to be featured, and certain keepers can sign up to talk about their favorite animals.
Well, so what questions do you get about Lance that surprise people?
They are often surprised to see how sharp those claws are. And if you can see his feet, he does walk on his knuckles, and that helps to keep his claws sharp. So he doesn't dull them, and he can save those sharp claws to tear open rotted logs and termite mounds.
So do you give him rotted logs and termite mounds?
We give him rotted logs. We haven't tracked down a termite mound for him, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that's probably pretty tough. But I mean, who's the vendor that's like selling rotted logs with termites in them?
Well, we're lucky to be on Delaware State Parks, so we have access to a lot of browse and log material here.
So he's eating locally sourced termites.
Locally sourced logs, yes.
Excellent. Now I'm really excited about this next thing. Coming up, we are going to see a baby lemur. Stay with us.
I'm Rebecca Moore, Director of Somerville Manning Gallery, and I love the creativity of the 302.
So where are we?
So right now we're going to go behind the scenes to get a closer look at our crowned lemur family.
So you can't go here unless you're on the 302. So come on, 302. So this is behind the scenes. You can get in through here to feed them or do whatever, but we're going over here?
Yes, so right through this window, you'll be able to see our crowned lemur family.
Wow. So this is amazing. I can't believe we can get so close.
Yes, so we can actually see the crowned lemur family through the window here. We have Mom, Sophie, Dad, Kip. Last year's baby, her name is Rain. She was the only crowned lemur infant born in an AZA zoo last year. And our newest addition, who is yet to be named, was born this year. And again, the only successful crowned lemur birth in an AZA zoo.
So let's talk a little bit about how much of a big deal that is. And you guys really work hard to make sure that these things happen. Tell me about what it took.
Well, we have to closely monitor species dynamics so the lemurs, how they interact with each other. We do daily checks to make sure, track the reproductive status of the female. So she's trained to present at the mesh so we can watch. We monitor their behavior very closely to see if we see any breeding, and that way we can track and anticipate a birth date.
Mm-hmm. So you said that last year we had baby Rain, who was the first, and now we have a second baby. So talk to me about what has happened with baby Rain from the time she was born to now she's a year old.
Yeah, so Rain turned 1 year on August 1st, and Rain, it's very important for Rain to be a part of this process with the second baby. That way she can then, when it's time for the species survival plan to place her at another zoo, she can then start her own family with this knowledge and how to raise a baby.
Mm-hmm. So right now we see the baby is on mama's back. Is that how they typically get around for?
Yes, so they have a very strong cling reflex when they're born. They cling onto mom's lower abdomen, and then as they grow and as they reach their new developmental stages, they move on to the back. The baby actually is often seen exploring a lot more off of mom, playing with her sibling, playing and interacting with her father, and so we aren't 100% sure if the infant is male or female, but we suspect it's female.
Okay.
So the baby is old enough to and reach this new developmental stage where it's exploring a lot off mom. So one of the reasons why they're off exhibit at this time is because the baby is a lot more exploratory and still small enough to fit through the mesh.
And you certainly wouldn't want that. So what do you feed a baby lemur? Do they suckle or do they take formula?
The baby is still nursing from mom, but eating and tasting the diet that the rest of the family gets. Mm-hmm. So one of the first foods that we saw the infant eating were greens. So leaves from the browse that we offer, or lettuce was one of the favorite items.
So how much in terms of greens and lettuce do you have to bring in, not just for the family, but for all of the lemurs?
Well, when available, we do try to provide fresh browse daily to the lemurs. They also get greens daily, whether it's kale or red leaf or green leaf or romaine. And they also get a zoo-based diet, which is a biscuit. They have an assortment of biscuits in addition to vegetables and fruit.
So when will the baby yet to be named get to go out and be with the rest of the population, at least with whatever, because they're separated by sexes, is that right?
They're separated by species.
Species,
Yes.
okay.
So the black and white rough lemurs and the ring-tailed lemurs are out on exhibit together. But when they come in at closing, they go into their own holding spaces and with their own species. The crowns, when they were outside on exhibit, they were with everybody, together with everybody, with the other two species as well. So once it's time to reintroduce the crowns back to everybody else, with Rain, we waited until she reached a certain weight. So just like with other animals here at the zoo, they participate in voluntary veterinary behaviors, such as voluntary weight scale behaviors. So we'll monitor the infant, and the infant actually has started that training program, and we've been able to get some weights on the baby.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know, but the people in 302 land, they know that you guys train the different animals to, you know, let you weigh them or let you take their temperature, things like that. So it's a whole way of training them to where you don't have to use other means to make sure that they're okay, right?
Right. So they voluntarily participate in these training sessions, and we're able to provide a stress-free way to gain weights, do body score checks, contain, and if for some reason we need to transport, things like that.
So the lemurs are like one of your, if not the most popular exhibit here, your biggest draw?
Being the newest exhibit, it is a very popular exhibit. So people like to come see the lemurs. They are very active during the day. You can see them sunbathing when it's nice and sunny out, or even just a napping behavior with the black and white rough lemurs is exciting to watch, because they like to get all these interesting positions.
I bet. I mean, they're just adorable to watch and so fascinating. So how did you come up with the name Rain? Did the public name them, or?
The keepers voted from a list of names. So we do have a naming protocol here where it has to make sense with the species, and Rain refers to the crown. So the crowned lemur has that marking on their heads, and that's where they get their name from. So Rain is R-E-I-G-N.
Well, you know, the mascot of the 302 is a French bulldog named Clovis, who was named for the first king of what would become France. So I totally get that. So anyways, so if people want to know more, they can come down and they can have listen to a talk about the lemurs, or check it out on the website as well.
Yes, so we do keeper talks here, just like with the other animals. The lemurs are also participants in the close encounters on the weekends, so they can come sign up in advance on the website and come in and do a close encounter with the lemurs at 11:30 on Saturdays or Sundays. And then in the fall, so in October, we also participate in World Lemur Festival, which is celebrated worldwide. October 25th is World Lemur Day, so check back on our website to see what we have planned for World Lemur Festival.
Fantastic. Well, Allison, thank you so much for telling us all about the baby lemur and the red panda and the giant anteater. It really was fascinating. Really appreciate it. Well, thank you. We'll be right back. Aren't these animals amazing? If you come to the Brandywine Zoo, make sure you snap a picture and share it with us on Facebook. Now, here are some other things you might want to check out. information on any of the exhibits or events here at the Brandywine Zoo, visit brandywinezoo.org. That'll do it for this week's episode of the 302. If you want to get behind the scenes content you're just not going to get anywhere else, make sure you follow us on Facebook. We're going to leave you now with some beauty shots around the zoo. Until next time, I'm Jackie Ferris. Tell them you saw it on the 302.